guys, I'm Niña Padero, a nursing student in Colegio de Santa Lourdes of Foundation Inc. I'm here to discuss the human skeleton. We learn about the structures of bones, so let's see how they are assembled in the body. We have 206 bones in an adult, but there's also a good amount of cartilage, joints, ligaments, which altogether of 20% of a person's body mass. There are two sections of the skeletal system. Those are axial and the appendicular bones. In an axial, found in the head and torsos, made of skull, vertebral column, and thoracic cage. When we say thoracic cage, guys, actually dito yung mga yung ribs natin. So that is thoracic cage. Non-appendicular bones found in the appendages, limbs, made of arms, legs, pelvis, and shoulder. So take note of that. What is the appendicular bones? Made in arms, legs, pelvis, and shoulder. So let's go in the axial column, which is the first in the skull, contains 22 bones. The cranial bone, the one protect the brains, wherein the facial bones give structures to the sutures. So guys, halos tanan na skull na contains ito flat bones. Nganha cranial connected at sutures. The cranium is made of vault and the base. And the base is divided into three fossa, asya ini an interior cranial fossa, middle interior cranial fossa, and the posterior cranial fossa. So together this produce the cranial cavity. The cavities that have is the air canal. Oh no. The cavities that have is the air cavity, orbit, and the nasal cavity. So let's go in the axial column, which is the first is the skull, contains 22 bones. The cranial bones, the one protected the brain, while the facial bones give structures to the face. Halos tanan guys na skull na contains into flat bones, na cranial connected at sutures. The cranium is made of vault and the base, and the base is divided into three fossa, asya ini an middle cranial fossa, anterior cranial fossa, and the posterior cranial fossa. Together these produce the cranial cavity. The cavities that have is the air cavity, orbit cavity, and the nasal cavity. So guys, may the 8 cranial bones. These 8 cranial bones are the frontal, the parietal, the temporal, the occipital, the ethmoid, and the sphenoid. Guys, napapansin niyo 6 lanak na mention. Asya 6. Pero talaga, 8 cranial bones ito ira. 8 cranial. Asya 6 la adi kay iba nga mga bones by pairs. As we said, they are connected by sutures. So nga diha aton connected here sutures. Ito nga mga sutures are the coronal, the sagittal, the lambdoid, and the occipitomastoid. And foramina are the holes. So when we say guys, foramina, the holes ito ya. Meaning, makikitaan nga di dapit ha aton skull when to basta nga di they are that nerves and the arteries. So it nga yan it foramina the holes that the nerves and arteries and veins pass through. So guys, and foramina magnum is the whole of the spinal cord. And foramina magnum. It foramina magnum guys, ito dako nga hole. Kadatat kadiha skull. That spinal cord. Aton whole of the spinal cord. So guys, there are 14 facial bones. Kung nakukuan pa niyo, kung remember as a nursing student, we have 14 facial bones. So those 14 facial bones are the nasal, lacrimal, inferior nasal concha, maxillary, the mandible, the palatine, the zygomatic, and the vomer. So I'm gonna teach you where is it located, those 14 facial bones. So first, in nasal. So guys, bagat na familiar man niyo kung ano nasal, di ba? So nasal is in the here. Nasal. This is nasal. Nasal. Ito po guys, ito. Nasal. The lacrimal. Where is it lacrimal na belong? So it lacrimal aditya lacrimal ini. So the inferior nasal concha. The inferior nasal concha here. Wait guys. So guys, I'm gonna teach you or explain where is it located about the 14 facial bones. So guys, I have an up of an essential skeleton. So papildito na natin Wait. Wait lang guys So, ito na. Yung green, nakikita nyo ba? Charot. Yung green, sasabihin niya kung anong pangalan nito. So, first is the nasal. So, nasal here. This is nasal. Wait lang. So, here, the nasal bone. This is nasal. Nasal bone. Second is the lacrimal. The lacrimal, it lacrimal guys, ha inner, ha aton skull, dito nga di, lacrimal. The inferior nasal concha. The inferior nasal concha. Here. The inferior nasal concha. Inferior. Nababasa niyo? The inferior nasal concha, the maxillary. So guys, it maxillary, meaning adi. The maxillary. Ini. One pair letiya. What itiya pair na yung usa letiya. Maxillary. Sunod is the mandible. Oh. The mandible. Here. Ini nga di. This is mandible. Here. The mandible. This is mandible. Did you guys? And the palatine. So guys, it palatine. Ha inner ito, ha aton nose. Iman. Wait guys, palatine. Basta't palatine guys, dito't may inner hit nose. Ha aton skull. Then the zygomatic. Zygomatic is located here, haton cheekbone. Ini nga di. Zygomatic. And lastly is the vomer. It vomer it vomer. Anay. Vomer. It vomer guys ay niya nga de. Haton nose. Vomer. That is vomer. So, another mga akong mga ginpan mention, amat 14 facial bones. So 14 facial bones kayan iba by pairs. Anwarayla pairs amat mandible, the mandible and the maxillary. The maxilia or the maxillary, the mandible, the maxilia, anwaray pairs, tas vomer gihap. So, asya na to guys. So let's move on to vertebral column. Or the vertebral column. If you are familiar what is vertebral, so I'm gonna teach you, explain what is vertebral. So the vertebral column guys, the ribs. So in vertebral may mga parts gapituya. So the first is so atong vertebral may the parts no. Ang tawag ito nga di 1 to 7 aton rib. As you can see, aton 1 to 7 nga ribs. Tawag ito true ribs na naka-attach na sternum via costal cartilage. So guys, the sternum aminin nga dit flat bones ito ya. Nga di na connected into our clavicle. Yeah. So, may 5 pairs of false ribs. So, diba, true ribs 1 to 7, tapos unfalse rib liwat 8 to 12. So, bali, 5 pairs ito ya. Na naka-attach indirectly to the sternum via costal cartilage. So, what is sternum, guys? Do you know what is sternum mean? Yeah. Sternum. So, it's sternum, guys. Shit, at sternum. Meaning nga di nga flat bone. Sternum. So, the last two na rib na bukog haton vertebral column. So napapansin man niyo haton rib may da duduwa na float, that the two pairs floating, that is called the floating bone. Floating bone na float because they don't attach to the sternum in any manner. So, magets niyo ako? So, gets up niyo, no? So, oh my gosh, it's raining. So next, the ribs are the flat bones. Ito nga ribs, they are called flat bones. Yes. So, true ribs get longer than 1 to 7. True ribs. While false rib get shorter going from 8 to 12. In appendicular bones found in the appendicular limbs, the arms, legs, pelvis, and the shoulder. So, that is appendicular limbs. Tapos naman kita axial. Tapos na kita so, we will move on to appendicular limbs. Those appendicular limbs is the arms, the legs, the pelvis, and the shoulder. So, in clavicle, the clavicle, Niña. This is clavicle, guys. And bagat na ko Niña. This is clavicle. I'm sorry if I'm gonna teach you where is it located and what's part of, So, this is the clavicle. The clavicle or the collarbone. If you don't know what is the clavicle mean, so the other term of clavicle is the collarbone. So in scapula which give structures to the shoulder, the scapula. So in scapula, guys, meaning nga dihatong back. This is the clavicle and the scapula. And pectoral girdle attaches the upper limb to the axial skeleton. Pectoral girdle. Where is pectoral girdle? Naka-attach. So nga dito yung naka-attach han may limbs to the axial skeleton. The kuan liwat na diha may clavicle nga na scapula, may mga tawag ya pitira. Nga diha may clavicle na connected to the kuan, clavicle connected to the sternum, that is the cranial end, while ang clavicle connected to the scapula, that is the acromial end. So guys, ang scapula is the thin flat bone through triangular three borders. So kung amit yan, superior, the medial, and the internal. In the upper limbs, so we are finished the kuan. Sa upper limb na kita and the lower limb. The upper limb as shown in arm, forearm, and the hand. The arm, the forearm, and the hand. So in forearm, so diba, this is an forearm, amiton ulna and radius. Tapos an koan, an hand, ni may mga parts gapin in hands. So I'm gonna discuss later. So in pelvis, we're going to kuan na. So pelvis naman, pelvis attaches to the lower limb, to the axial skeleton. Pelvis na di. Naka-attach siya lower limb. Tas ang sacrum, the sacrum is the part of the vertebral column. The sacrum is the part of the vertebral column. So, what pa man kita to? Yan, later, i-discuss ko iyo. So in pelvis, there are also parts. Do you know what does pelvis mean? So, amin nga ding haton basta nga ding nga part. Didi. So, and pelvis, their parts is the ilium, the ischium, and the pubis. So, those three parts is the hip bone. So, and pubis liwat, and pubis, amit ya it region of the hip bone. So, let's move on to the structures of the femur. So, femur is the thigh, leg, and foot. By the way guys, femur is the largest bone in the body. Is the largest, meaning yet pinakadako nga bone in the body, in the parts of the body. So, in femur, may mga parts cavity, as I said earlier. So, femur is the phobia, amitian, oh my god, the media head, my head, nga that head, diba? It's femur. This is the largest bone in the body, the femur. Ini nga head, for example, this is head. Meday ito ka parts, yan haigbaw, the phobia capitis, Tapos, inya the greater, this is the greater trochanter, and the costal, I don't know, basta may parts. Tapos, and tarsus. So, tarsus, the parts of the foot. Diba? Kanina, wari ko pa i-discuss ang hand. So, kanina kita foot. And foot, may the parts gihap. So, this, ang tarsus may 7 bones. Wait lang guys. Tarsus has 7 bones. Wait guys kung naano kayo sa akin, please. Oh my god. Wala nga yung parts. Wait lang guys. Wait guys, matagal-tagal pa look. Naloko na sa aking phone. God, Tarsus. So, lang. Mabuti naman nag-ano siya. So, Tarsus have 7 bones. So, guys, diba, at atong tiil, may dagat parts. So, amin niya. Iniya nga dako, guys. Ano yan? Ini nga dako, guys. Iniya. Nakikita ba niyo? So, ini guys nga dako, iniya, didiha aton tiil. Tawagin niya the calcaneus tarsal. The calcaneus tarsal. This is the calcaneus. Tas iniya, afterhan dako nga bukog, may gote. Diri yun nakita. So, iniya, this is the cuboid tarsal. The cuboid man. While nga diliwat, the talus, and the navicular tarsal. The talus, the navicular tarsal, and the medial. It medial, guys. It medial cuneiform tarsal. Ito dilat pinaka, for example, iniya nga kamot. Ini ba nga dapit, dida. At pinaka, kung hainit dako. Niya. Pero hatiil ini nga part, diri hakamot ha. Kasi niya. This is the medial cuneiform tarsals. The second one is the intermediate cuneiform tarsal. The third one is the lateral cuneiform tarsal. The fourth, the last, sapit ni calcaneus amin niyan, the cuboid tarsal. Tas here, amin it yan, metatarsals. This is the metatarsals and the and the distal, diba? Ang magyapa hakamot, may the phalanges, middle phalanx, so dito. Tapos agyap hatiil, siya gihap. Amin yan, distal phalanx, the distal phalanx, the intermediate phalanx, the magyap the third digit of the intermediate phalanx, and the magyap mid the phalanx, mga phalanges at tiratawag, mga phalanges. Yes. Tas diba niya, this is the phalanges. The second one, ang bagan kuan na kaduha, ang tawag ito era ang metatarsals. The metatarsal, guys. Tas amin ang nakigin-mention kanina. This, ang pinakadako amin ni an medial cuneiform, the medial, the intermediate, the lateral, tas nga di ang navicular tarsal, tas di diliwat the cuboid tarsal, tas di asya na ito the talus, and the talus connected ito may tibia na connected tibia. It tibia ngan it fibula. Imagine na kung nala iyo isip na it tibia ami to taba or bagat yet dako nga part diha aton bukog nga diba aton ang tawag gani tay basta shit ya. Tapos idi fibula, the fayat and the taba diba. Tas inya the calcaneus, this is calcaneus as what I've said earlier. Tas the articular surface of superior surface, basta siya nito. So did you get it? If you get it, then that's good. So guys, tapos na kita mag-discuss about that. So, di ba, tapos na kitahan may tarsus. So, wari ko pa ka-discuss, I mean yan aton the hands. So, the hand, abnormal, diri ko. So, the hand, may digapitiya parts. This is the phalanges, the carpals, the for example, phalanges, carpals, metacarpals. Phalanges, carpals, metacarpals. Amit ya. Did you get it? If you get it, that's good. So amin ya. The carpals and the metacarpals. So guys, kuan gihap anay. In hand, may dagya parts. Wait guys So the distal phalanx, the middle phalanx, and amitiya. Basta remember la iniya phalanges ini. Tas inihadabot nga amitot mga phalanges na iniya mga phalanges tas iniya amitot mga metacarpals. Iniya metacarpals, phalanges, metacarpals, and carpals. This is carpals, the metacarpals and the phalanges. Tas part may dagya pito parts. Ini guys, this is the trapezoid, the trapezoid, the trapezium, the scaphoid, the capitate, the amitot mga parts ang mga bukog dito. Siya na to guys. Thank you guys. May dako pa nga di-discuss nga nangalimot ako pag-discuss sa iyo. So, asya adtoan spinal column, the spinal column. The spinal column is by the 26 irregular bones na support ininhiya skull to the pelvis. So, 26 bones. There are also parts. So that is the cervical, the thoracic, and the lumbar vertebrae. In cervical guys, may the sinisiri nga numbers to C1 to C5, the cervical. Tapos, and thoracic liwat, T1 to T12. The lumbar is the L1 to L5. Lumbar 5 section, thoracic 12 section, tapos cervical 5 sections. So below guys, below the vertebral, di ba? Vertebral ubos. Below the vertebral is the sacrum. Nga da sacrum. Ito bagat connected dihat pelvis. The sacrum. Below the sacrum liwat guys is the coccyx. Coccyx amit yat tinatawag gihat na tailbone. So the last of the axial is the thoracic cage. This is the sensorily comprised of the sternum ribs and the costal cartilage. The sternum in the flat bone. This is sternum. In the flat bone, the parts is the manubrium, the body, and the xiphoid process. So, diba, sternum, may parts gap, the manubrium, the xiphoid, the manubrium, the body, and the xiphoid process. ito, may 12 pairs of ribs. It koan. It ngarang kini ini nga vert ini nga Jurassic. Oh no, this is basta yun nga ng ribs, may 12 pairs. That's all. Thank you.